welcome to QI. Tonight we look through both telescope and microscope at the quite interesting world of little and large. Joining us tonight are the gigantic Phil Jupiters, the massive Richard Osman, the titanic Lucy Porter, and, oh my gosh, he's so teeny-weeny I could squish him, Alan Davies. Now, let's go large on your little buzzers. Phil goes.
Hey, spend a little time with me.
Big spender. Richard goes.
Big John. Big John. Big Bad John.
Lucy goes.
Big girls don't cry. Big girls don't cry.
And Alan goes.
It was an instant.
Lovely. So, what's the largest native land animal that you'll find all year round on Antarctica?
I don't think there are any land animals on Antarctica. Humans? Human beings?
Ooh! I did say...
The line between clever and stupid is so thin.
I did say native. Obviously, there are humans.
I beg.
Yeah, there are natives.
It's the penguin, a big penguin.
Ow!
I mean, right, OK, so it's not that because I made the evil siren go off.
Would it be whales?
A whale isn't a land animal.
If the water melts really quickly, it is.
I will give you a clue. You've already said penguin, but it's a flightless animal, but it's not a big mammal.
Given that it is big and little and large, is it very wee?
It is actually very small, although it's the largest.
Is it a mosquito or something?
It's an insect. You're in the right direction. It's like a mosquito. Mosquitoes are like... If you go to Scotland, what do you get?
A ladybird.
Midge. It's a midge.
It's a... a midge.
Belgica, Antarctica. The Belgian, as you might say, midge. There it is. It's wingless, flightless. It's a midge. And the point is, it's native to Antarctica. There are all kinds of animals, like humans, like penguins, that spend a bit of their time in Antarctica. Penguins only 25% of the time. 75% of their time, they're at sea. They're not a land animal.
Ah, but we're married to the sea. Penguins, we love the light. Away from our nagging wives with their beaks and their wings sitting on eggs.
There they are. Oh, bless. What is it about them that is so endearing?
They're delicious. That's good eating.
Talking of humans not being native to Antarctica, there's a story the other day about the American scientist who's there and he decided to turn Tinder on. You know Tinder, the dating app.
Oh, yes.
And he got a date with a woman in a tent 45 minutes away. He was also...
You're kidding me! That's hilarious.
That'd be great if she came up and he went, that's right,
Yeah,
right.
that's
Grinder, however, all penguin.
But if they were the mates, say, have a child, raise that child there, suddenly...
That child would be endemic or native to Antarctica.
Yeah, and by the time this goes out on Dave, everyone will be like, what about the Tinder baby? Midge. Yeah, Tinder baby.
You're right. I have to pull it in.
They've got Wi-Fi, that's the best thing about that.
Yeah, Wi-Fi on Antarctica.
That's good going.
Yeah,
The
it's
penguins
impressive.
are all hooked up. They're all the same.
Their version of Tinder is called Pick Up a Penguin.
Very good. So, now, identify the world's biggest gas bag.
Oh, Lord. John McCruick.
It's a very good answer.
An actual bag of actual gas.
That would probably be the best way to go, without hinting too much.
Presume something like the Hindenburg, an airship, an enormous airship.
Well, kind of like an airship, yes, though, in fact, even bigger. This is the biggest such device ever constructed
Is
by
it the
man.
one that Bruce Dickinson from
Is it
Iron
old?
Maiden is involved with?
How extraordinary you are. No. But I'm very impressed that you should know of that.
Now, I met him about 5 years ago. He said he was invested a huge amount of money, and it's about 200 feet, 300 feet long or something. It's absolutely enormous. There's pictures of it. It looks like an arse, the way it's
That's
built.
it. It does. There it is, like an
hangar.
arse.
But it's in a hangar that's so big it has its own climate.
Yes.
Has clouds and
Yeah.
all sorts of...
Why, oh, why, oh, why?
Did he do it? Well, because for commercial reasons.
Yeah.
It's like
Oh,
to
it
replace...
goes 100 miles per hour.
Yeah, it's like properly quite impressive.
Have they sorted out the whole, you know, Hindenburg
No,
fiery
they
death
decided
element?
not to worry about it.
It can carry 50 tons. It can stay in the air for 3.5 weeks. But the difference between that and the Hindenburg is, do you know? What
It's not full of hydrogen, I
well,
take
that's it. The Hindenburg and the earlier airships are full of hydrogen, which is incredibly flammable. Not just incredibly or intensely, but incredibly.
Well, that's yeah, which is right, you're right.
That's why it blew up, because it was incredibly flammable.
What have I told you about reading Jabberwocky before you present it?
It's incredibly dangerous.
So, yes, that was a really good interruption.
Is this
as
a
it were.
naturally occurring gas bag?
No, it isn't. It is the biggest ever bag of gas created by humankind.
Does it have a purpose? So it has a purpose other than storing the gas?
It had a purpose in as much as it broke 3 records, which are better remembered than this record. What are the 3 records you might think of in terms of a balloon?
Height,
Yes.
distance,
Height,
and number
distance.
of deaths.
There were no deaths. There were no deaths in this case.
Is it loudest pop?
Not,
Most excited child?
who jumped out of a really high balloon?
Oh,
Felix Baumgartner.
Yeah.
Felix Baumgartner is the right answer. This is the, yeah. So Felix Baumgartner, there he is. He fell from a greater height than anyone has ever fallen.
Right.
He achieved a greater speed than anyone has fallen, which made him the first man ever to what?
Break the sound barrier.
Break the sound barrier unaided. And it was the highest balloon ascent ever. Those are 3 records. The highest balloon ascent, biggest free fall.
You know what else it was, Stephen?
What's that?
It was incredibly dangerous.
But it was the largest balloon ever constructed. And let's have a look at how big it was. It was bigoted.
Whoa.
It was bigoted than the Statue of Liberty.
It was more bigoted than the statue.
What is the
What is going on?
Bigot.
Get rid of this one, get another one in.
Give me your paw, you're
warehouse
tired, and
today.
tell them to piss off.
What they call it in Carry On World is the Statue of Diabolical Liberty. Anyway, it is gigantic. It's almost as tall as St Paul's Cathedral, but taller, as you can see, the Statue of Liberty by a few feet. But the comparison with the Hindenburg is interesting, which is one, you know the Hindenburg you mentioned, I think, didn't you? There's the Hindenburg. And the Hindenburg burst into flames catastrophically in New Jersey at the Lakehurst Naval Air Station. There it is. I mean, just awful. It was so sophisticated inside, incredible.
That is sophisticated.
Yeah, and they even had a cigarette lighter, although it was hydrogen, one of the most flammable gases there is. But it was chained.
Cigarette, yes please.
Simulated live
What's that smell?
dangerously.
Can anyone smell gas? Don't be absurd.
The cigarette lighter was chained to one place, so you could go up and light your cigarette. But everyone wore special shoes that didn't create friction and static electricity to create a spark that would set it off. But something went wrong. In the movie, it's supposedly sabotage. So there you are. What use is a blue whale at a birthday party? Alan, I'll give you a chance here. I know how you love blue whales. It's not a blue, actually. We should have offered you a blue, but in fact, that is a hump. It's a humper.
That's not real, that photo, is it?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. Alan's a diver.
A blue whale at a birthday party. Well, they take up a lot of room. You need a big hall.
Yeah.
It's good. I think you're getting there.
Yeah. That's good encouragement. Thanks, Richard.
That's okay.
I think it'd be fun for the kids to get inside, couldn't they? Play
True.
around.
Bouncy castle?
Bouncy arsehole, did you say?
No. I didn't, but by all means.
Oh, Bouncy Castle.
Bouncy Castle.
Oh, yeah, yeah, I see what you mean, yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to hire a bouncy arsehole if I may.
Oops. No, list things that you need for children.
Well,
Okay,
my
I'm
kids...
thinking candles.
Yeah,
Candles is one.
my kids love ambergris, so
You're quite right, ambergris does come from a
it'd be
whale.
a
but
natural for a blue... right, okay.
Parcel.
pass the parcel.
Balloons.
Yes!
Balloons.
Balloons.
A big whale balloon. Whales filled
Why
with
would a
helium.
blue whale be useful at a
Because it
children's
can
party?
fill up, it's got the largest breath in the world.
Yes, because in one breath, a blue whale could inflate 1,250 balloons.
Okay,
That's a spoilt child.
I take that... I take that point, but I'm fairly sure it's never happened.
And also, logistically, it would be almost impossible.
I would like whales live to be very old as well, don't they? So I would like
yes.
one at my birthday party to make me feel both young and slim.
Yes. Whales aren't particularly slim, though, Lucy.
No, but I would next to a whale.
Oh, I see, next to a whale. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm so
I'm not
stupid.
asking for much of a compliment,
No,
Stephen.
no,
Just, you know.
I do
You're
apologise.
not going to be able to get next to the whale because he's in the balloon shed, pumping away. One. Two.
Just going, those dolphins have it easy, don't they?
I'm going to give you some bags now and ask you to blow these up. Now, you may say that's easy enough.
Time for the controversial autoerotic asphyxiation round.
Oh, damn, that's so rude. There you are.
Here we go.
That's terrible.
I'd just like a belt and a tangerine now.
So you're blowing up. What you're doing is you're trying to blow... All right.
Look, how clever she
How
is.
did you do that? I'll show you here. It's called the Bernoulli effect. Okay, watch this. One blow. So there you are. Just one blow from a distance, like that, which you did. So you get the points there, Lucy. That's very impressive. So put them away nicely. Now, who said the most beautiful girl or woman in the world would be a matter of indifference to me, but tall soldiers, they are my weakness?
You did.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
That was very pleasing.
Was it someone who had a tall soldier pointing a gun at them at the time?
You think so? This person was obsessed with tall soldiers, tall people generally.
Was it my PA, Kelly?
She would be.
She is literally, all she wants in the world, if you know anyone, is a ginger squaddy. It's all she wants. It's all she wants.
But a tall ginger
A tall
squaddy.
ginger squaddy, or failing that, a ginger roofer. So if you know anybody...
All right, you heard it here
Yeah.
first.
I do have I have an inkling about this, but I can't remember. It was a squadron Potsdam.
Oh, brilliant. Absolutely right. Yeah, there were the Potsdam Giants. Yeah, absolutely right. It was King Friedrich Wilhelm I Fürst of Preuss, or Prussia, who was the father of Frederick the Great. And he became king in 1713, as you all know. And he was obsessed with tall soldiers. And he would kidnap them, he would recruit them, he would get them from any country that wanted to be in with Prussia, which was just growing as a power. He himself was only 5'5", so he wasn't very tall, but he just got them from all over the place. In fact, one of his tallest was a 7-foot Irishman called James Kirkland, who was the hero of the regiment of Potsdam Giants. And he paid fathers for tall sons. He paid tall women to have sex with tall men so they could have tall sons. He was, and if he
He
was...
sounds like my kind of guy.
If he was unhappy, he'd get 200 or 300 of his giants.
Don't finish this
No,
sentence.
no. Preceded by tall turbaned Moors with cymbals and trumpets of the Grenadiers' mascot, an enormous bear, to march for him to cheer him up. And they'd do this through his bedroom if he was ill.
A march for him.
With a bear as
How big
well.
was his bedroom?
It must have been, well, enormous. He was an emperor.
He wants big men and a bear marching to strict rhythm, which you can find
Yes,
in Old
on-
Compton Street most Fridays.
I think he'd want them to do tall stuff.
Like reach
Yeah.
on high
Yeah,
shelves.
stuff off shelves or something.
Yes, that's true, plucking.
I mean,
But
what's
you
the
know-
point of having them just walking up and down?
I don't know. He had his particular
The
thing.
reason I've heard of this is because when I got together with my husband, someone made this reference because I'm 4'11", my husband is 6'5", which is like
Justin.
Is that yes? In the bedroom, it's like a ventriloquism act that's gone really serious. Horrible image,
So
you know.
right.
But
Well, yes.
well, Frederick would have loved it, obviously.
Yeah.
But,
What does he make you do while he's drinking a pint of water? I bet it's not the alphabet.
No. And almost 100 years, this regiment was part of the Prussian army.
Is that because they live longer?
No, I don't mean that each individual member. No, they did live longer.
They get gradually shorter.
It was a
I used to be tall.
Yes, King Frederick William of Prussia liked a tall soldier, but why was Sir Billy Butlin such a little devil?
Oh, holiday camps.
Butlin's
Yes.
holiday camps?
Yeah.
Minehead, Scarborough, Filey,
But the,
Skegness.
Skegness. Yep.
well, the chalet's little.
So, no, but Billy Butlin himself,
Was he tiny?
he was. And if you think about the age he is, you might be able to work this out.
Second World War.
No.
First World
The
War.
First World War, that's the generation he was. And in the First World War, they had something to make people fight, which was called...
Bromide.
No. It was a law.
Oh, because
Conscription, yes.
Conscription.
But one of the things that could get you out of being conscripted was that if you were...
Tiny.
If you were small.
did he pretend to be bigger to?
No, he, as it were, fell under a particular desperation that the British Army...
Did they start a short army?
Yes,
Like the,
they literally did. Lord Derby, the Earl of Derby, said, now, hang on, there are a whole load of short people, as it were, getting under the wire. And all these tall people are fighting and dying for us. We want more people to die for us. There simply aren't enough people dying. And all these short people are living. So we're going to have a short brigade. And they were known as the Bantams, the Bantam Brigade. And they were... I know.
presumably quite good. You could play on the opposition's, or you know, the opposing army's sense of perspective.
Yeah.
Some way you're like,
Those soldiers are really far away.
they have edges. They
They are no danger to us.
These were men under 5'3", and Billy Butlin was one of them. They became known as the Devils, in fact, the Devil's Dwarfs, because they were so... their reputation for brawling and mischief. They were very, very aggressive. Here they are being inspected by a splendid man in moustache. And
German shin injuries up 75%. Our legs are being shot away from us. We do not know why.
Do you know they should have just put them on each other's shoulders in a long coat?
the most famous of them was called Henry Thridgold, who was only 4'9", and he was believed to be the shortest soldier ever to have served in the British Army. There he is next to quite a tall Scottish soldier. But that's a short chap, but chirpy and cheerful and ready to lay down his life for our country.
I can
Tell you what,
shake
that's,
hands with him.
Hey, now.
That's given my husband and I a whole new avenue for bedroom role play.
You be Henry, and I'll be a Scots Guard.
Well, there you are. So next time you go on a Butlin's holiday, you can say, well, thank you, Billy, for putting your life at risk, despite the fact that you weren't as tall as most soldiers.
And he survived.
He survived in order to create these holiday camps. Yeah.
With tiny beds.
With... Now, what did the chap on the left here have that was twice as big as the chap on the right?
Is it to do with their beards?
No, they're both very, very famous. They're both 19th century.
Is
Are
it
they
to do-
philosophers?
One of them won a Nobel Prize, the other didn't.
Oh, is it Nobel Prize cabinet?
You are faster than the speed of light, and I... No, it's not that. It could easily be. Definitely deserve points for that. The one on the right was hugely fashionable for a time. His name is Anatole France, and he won the Nobel Prize for Literature. The one on the left was a great literary figure, still much more highly regarded as a literary figure than the one on the right.
Is it Twitter following?
Neither of them, to their eternal shame, has a Twitter following.
How do you win a Nobel Prize for Literature if you don't Twitter?
It seems inconceivable, doesn't it? I know. The one on the left, his initials, though, are slightly to do with Twitter. His initials are IT.
Is he Russian?
Yes. So if it's I, it's got to be
Igor.
Ivan. It's the right answer. Month in the country.
Turgenev?
Fathers and sons, Ivan Turgenev is the right answer. So you have Ivan Turgenev and you have Anatole France. One had something that was double the size of the other.
Is it right hand or left hand?
No, but you're right to be physical. It's about their bodies. Maybe
Well, everyone's
cock-
thinking it. They might as well get... No.
It's quite fun to sit here when the word penis just flashes.
The number of times that's happened to him, I don't know. It's not.
Brain.
Brain is the right answer. You bring back a few points to yourself.
Oh, come on, it must match up.
Well, that's the thing.
You can't lose more for saying cock than you get for saying brain.
You know that it's actually... Yeah, Turgenev's brain is twice the size of Anatole France's, or was, and Anatole France won the Nobel Prize and Turgenev didn't. Not that that's anything to do with it, but it is quite surprising, because generally speaking, it's held that brain size is to do with intelligence, although there are manifold exceptions. But in the case of Turgenev and Anatole France, well, Turgenev's brain was 4 pounds 6 ounces, and France's was 2 pounds 4 ounces, almost exactly half.
Can you feel the weight of your brain? Is that a thing?
Yes, I
If you've got a
can.
heavier brain,
Yeah.
is it...
It's really upsetting. Size isn't everything, it seems. However, just how small can you feel?
Right. So is this your ability to feel tininess?
It is, well spotted.
A human hair's pretty small.
Hairs are small, yeah.
You can't feel that if it's resting on your hand, but if you put it between your finger, you can.
Pollen. Can you feel pollen?
Depends what you're feeling it with.
Yes.
Look,
Yes.
I'm doing this. Look, I'm
You're
doing this
using
like
your
I'm playing a
fingertips,
tiny violin.
which are your best feely
Okay,
things.
fingertips.
So it was only in 2013 they started to do experiments, really, to try and find out. And they used a very, 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 very smooth surface to try and get the friction. And it's absolutely extraordinary what they discovered. And that is that we can feel, with our fingers, something as small as 13 nanometers high, which is to say the size of a single molecule, which in itself would be 10 times smaller than a bacterium. Fortunately, we can't feel bacteria, because that would drive us crazy, because they're everywhere. Human fingers do this by sensing vibrations from the friction. And it is absolutely astonishing. And you can test it, because you can put something on a surface that's smooth and put these tiny things and say, stop when you feel it.
How smooth is smooth?
Yeah. Are we talking like Magic FM?
Let's...
That's too smooth.
Too smooth.
Yeah. The research team created invisible wrinkles of 16 different heights. The smallest detectable ones were 7,000 times thinner than a sheet of paper. There you are. Makes you wonder, though, why we can never find the end of a roll of sellotape.
Hey.
How is that? Anyway, you'll be surprised just how small people feel sometimes. Now, fingers on buzzer speeds, because it's time for general ignorance. Which country's armed forces' official march is about a tramp by a pond being accosted by a farmer because he's stolen a sheep in his lunch bag?
Australia?
Oh, what a shame. It's exactly like it, because it is an exact translation of
Once
Matilda.
Waltzing Matilda. But Waltzing Matilda is not an official march in Australia. But it is the official march of a country's military.
Oh, I bet it's one of the African countries, isn't
It's
it?
not, bizarrely.
It's one of the Asian countries.
No,
It's like way deep down there in
American.
South America,
no, that's the right area, except not south.
Caribbean,
No.
Central America,
Not-
Nicaragua, like Honduras type place. Panama, I want to say Panama.
Belize. I'm going to say Belize. I'm going to say...
If you get it when I've done 15,
Belize,
I'll do
Belize.
it.
El Salvador.
Costa Rica,
No, go big.
Mexico.
Mexico.
Even bigger.
America.
The United States of America, amazingly.
Get out
The
of
1st Marine, yeah. The 1st Marine Division, there they are. They
Tall
have...
soldiers.
Yeah, the 1st
I
Marine...
love you. March to me.
I love she's just like, oh.
She's come out the wrong door.
Well, that's my PA, Kelly.
Hats off!
The 1st Marine Division used Waltzing Matilda because of their relationship with the Australian Army in World War II. But there's no Australian military force that uses it officially. Of course, they can play what they like.
They were trying to have it as their national anthem, weren't they? But it was outvoted, I think.
By
Advance Australia Fair.
Advance Australia Fair, which is one of the official marches, the other being God Save the Queen. There's also the British Royal Tank Regiment Slow March. So the fact is, if you hear Waltzing Matilda coming at you in an official capacity, it's Americans attacking you, not Aussies. Or our own chaps, but very slowly. When a chicken lays an egg, which end comes out first?
Oh, God, I'm not answering.
The big end.
Yes!
Oh,
that's right.
shut up! I was going to say that!
We can actually, we've actually got a glove which sort of reproduces an oviduct, you know, a little egg-laying tube. So you can try and... What happens is, in utero, the egg is little end down, and then it turns round. Yeah, very good.
I'm going to start campaigning for epidurals for chickens.
There you are. You can let the big end out. Can you... Oh,
Oh,
Are these
no,
hard-boiled?
this is
Because
so
this is-
sore.
oh,
I
there you
made
are.
one.
Oh, yes, you can. Oh, dear. It is a rubber egg, as you've been...
That's why you're not a hen gynecologist.
You should have... Have you got a real egg down there?
I've got a real egg in a cup.
Oh, now be careful with the real egg. Put it over the
Why,
cup.
are they fragile, Stephen?
Well, no. They're not fragile, Alan. And if you obey this picture, put the egg in your hand like this and squeeze as hard as you like, you shouldn't be able to break it. Yeah. What do I got to do? Squeeze. As hard as you can to break it. But you can't, can you?
No.
Very, very strong. And that's the thing, eggs aren't very...
But-
You can try it at home, ladies and gentlemen.
If any of you had done it, I would have married you, goddammit.
How do they stamp them, Stephen?
Well, they've got a little thing inside their little hand. A little printing event that goes on just as it comes out, giving its best before date. Yeah.
The cartridges to refill a chicken are really prohibitively expensive.
Well, yes, you've got to be my
Meanwhile, on the chicken farm, Barnes Wallace.
And so, having spent a little time having it large with you all, it's time to look at the scores. Well, it's extraordinary, it's wonderful, it's terrific, and it's marvellous, because in first place, by quite a margin, that's to say by QI standards, it's Lucy Porter with 8 points! In second place, 5 behind, with +3, is Phil Jupiters. And surprising, given the depth and breadth of his knowledge, with -16 in third place is Richard Osman.
Reading rubbish.
But bringing up his all too familiar rear with -27 is Alan Davies. So it's thanks from Lucy, Phil, Richard, Alan and me, and I'll leave you with the last words of Nostradamus as he lay dying, probably making what was his only accurate and only unambiguous prediction. Tomorrow, I shall no longer be here. Good night.